Hello, PHS fans. Thank you guys so much for joining in. We're going to talk to a really awesome person named Ray Evans, a little bit about how to transition from high school into college as a first generation student. And some of you might be first generation students, and what that means is that your parents may not have completed a 4-year degree. And so that might mean that it might be a little harder to think about how college is and what it would look like because you might not have the people around you who might be able to tell you like, yep, this is what it looked like. And so it's really important for us as first-gen students to find people who can help us out. And so in honor of MLK Day of Service, which was last week, we are going to kind of talk a little bit about how to transition as a first-gen student into college and how to successfully do that through mentorship. So I have with me Ray Evans, and he graduated from Person High School in 2020. So that's pretty awesome. Oh wait, is it 2020? 2016. We graduated, yes. So he graduated from UNC Charlotte in 2020, and he graduated from Person High School in 2016. And thanks to him, we're going to chat for just a few minutes about this topic. Ray actually majored in computer science with a film studies minor from UNC Charlotte. So that's pretty cool. Right down the road, and some pretty awesome study material right there. And he also is an IT associate at Butterball. He's currently doing that now. Butterball is a turkey manufacturing company, and he's actually in like this managerial rotation program, which is really cool. So if you have questions about that, definitely reach out to Ray. And so now we're going to actually, I'm going to pester Ray for a little bit, asking him some questions about mentoring for first-gen students. So my first question for you, Ray, is what was it like to start college as a first-gen student? And what helped you transition from high school to college?
Yeah, starting college for me, it was a very exciting time. I kind of had a little bit of a unconventional route to get to UNC Charlotte. I came over from a community college, and I didn't really go the traditional route of the 2-year transfer program to a university. I went to a community college for a semester, and then I took the opportunity to transfer after that semester. And because of that, I'm not gonna lie, I found it kind of hard in the transition because I felt like maybe I had missed out on some things on that first semester, opportunities to meet people like convocation and things like that. But I think really the things that helped me get through in that transition were just I think mindset was a big thing. Having an open mindset and being open to the change. I was really excited to be there, so that's huge. If you're excited, then other people will feel that and they'll gravitate towards you. And then another thing that was huge was living on campus. Living in a dorm was a great opportunity to find other people and meet people. So I know that it's kind of in the air right now for a lot of people, but I would totally recommend, if you have the opportunity to live on campus, it's a great opportunity to meet new people and keep an open mindset and be excited.
That's really awesome. Yeah, that's a great way to transition into college is to be, around other college students. But it sounds like your community college experience is also a little bit interesting to transition from that into a 4-year. So that's an interesting perspective, and we appreciate that. And so now I'm curious, what was who would have been your greatest mentor in high school? And then I'm also curious, who would have been that mentor for you in college? And we're talking about mentorship being a really good source of support for students, especially first-gen students. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Back at PHS, what was it? 6 years ago? I'm a quick math, right? 2021, 2016, 5 years. 5 years ago. So at Person High School, my greatest mentors, I like to think of them as my school moms. Definitely Miss Woody was a huge help of motivating me to, get through that senior year and send out applications. And, I think, maybe Miss Woody may have pushed me to actually apply for scholarships, which really helped me out in the long run.
Mhm.
And then also Miss Johnson was huge all throughout my college or my time at Person High School. She was
Mhm.
another big source of support.
Awesome.
And then once I got to school, it's a little bit harder to find those school moms because you're competing with 10,000 other children, let's say. Um, I eventually did find, a good source of support through a work study job that I had, which was through Venture Outdoor Leadership. And, not to go off topic with them, but, Venture is a great source of support as a whole. It's a lot like the Outward Bound programs I'm familiar with.
Gotcha.
And so, my supervisor through my work study job was that school mom then. Really, really friendly, really personal person, and you know, really was there for me a lot.
Awesome. And I know this wasn't an initial question I was going to ask you, but how did you find those mentors, even in high school? How did you find them? Did they find you? Um, and was there some sort of extra step you had to take, especially in college, to reach out and find that school mom?
Yeah, in high school, I think they're really already there for you in those places. You have your teachers that you go to and you see on a daily basis. So really get to know your teachers. They're there for you and they care about you, and your counselors too. Like I said, Ms. Woody was my college counselor, and I didn't meet her until I was a senior. Um, but then I took the extra step of actually, want to be a TA for Miss Woody. So they were already there for me in those support positions, and I really just met them halfway.
Mhm.
In college, you have to kind of go and seek those mentors, and I would say, um, I really, um, I would say to find mentors in college, although it's a little bit harder, it's very possible. So I would say go to study halls for your core classes. That's a great way to find uh,
Mhm.
mentors in your core curriculum, uh,
Mhm.
and do take advantage of events that are on campus. Another great way to find people who may work for the school, um, who are more than happy to lend a hand to you.
Awesome. And I guess also, what kind of things did those mentors do for you, especially the college ones? What were some of the things that they did to support you in your college time?
Yeah. So for my work study job, my mentor was, obviously she supported me in my work role and was there to give me a paycheck. Um, but she was also very supportive and personal and kept up with me and how things were going. That's good to have, in college, especially if you're away from family, just to have someone who cares about you. Was always looking out for me if I were to say, hey, I'm kind of looking for a job now. She was a person that I know would keep my best interests at heart. So yeah.
Awesome. That's really great. I'm so glad that you had someone to actually, lend you an ear and give you advice and think about you and maybe check in with you. Those work study teachers and professors, I had the band director as my work study job person, and he was a great resource, and I could always lean on him too. So that was those people that you can find. It's just incredible what they can do for you when you're in college. So thank you for that. And then I guess for a last, final thing, what kind of advice would you give our current, PHS first gen students, really any student who's tuning in right now and listening? What kind of advice would you give them going forward? As you know, they're struggling with a lot of different things, especially with COVID. So do you have any sort of, last minute advice that you would give them?
Yeah, I know things may be a little hard right now with the transition of going from everything being in person to online. But I would say really, really keep that excited mindset. Be excited to be a freshman. It's a really great time of your life. Everyone always says the 4 years go by quick, and when you're in them, that might not be true. But when I look back at it now, I definitely wish I could be back in those 4 years. So be excited to be a freshman. Um, if you have the opportunity to get on campus, I would definitely recommend living on campus.
Yeah.
Um, and as a freshman, I would definitely say take advantage of those gen ed classes that, may be a little easier, and you may think, I could have done this in high school. When you recognize that, definitely take advantage of those classes, because when you get to your senior year and you're checking your GPA, if you look there and you see you had a C in a gen ed class, you're really going to be kicking yourself in the butt, because those are the freebies. So take advantage of the freebies. Uh, Taking advantage of the freebies is a skill you'll learn in college. So find those free resources. And another thing is to track your progress of your degree. Um, at my school, we had a program called DegreeWorks that we could go in and check the progress to our degree. I don't know if you had something similar, Rebecca,
Sort
but
of. Yeah.
our counselors, it wasn't necessarily through our counselors, but they would, show us this program that everyone had access to, where you could check your progress to your degree and see exactly what classes you need to take. So I would recommend finding, if you have something like that available to you, and leveraging that and checking that incessantly.
Yeah, sometimes your actual school counselors, like the people that are at the school, don't really look at that as thoroughly as you should. And some kids, miss a class and then they have to retake it in a fifth semester, their senior year of a fifth year, which is a lot more expensive than it would be to finish it up when you're in your 4 years. So that's a great point. Yeah.
College counselors have a lot more students to take care of than high school counselors. So they're not going to be on top of your classes like a high school counselor. So you really have to be on top of what you need to do to get your degree.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, this was really informative for me too, and I'm hoping that, the students tuning in can learn a little bit from you, Ray. And we just really appreciate your time, and we wish you all the best in your IT job at Butterball. And if you ever need anything from PHS, we're here to reach out for you too. So we really appreciate everything and your insight on mentorship for first-gen students. So we really appreciate it, and thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Rebecca. No problem.
Thanks.